much would you have if you put $1 a day in a piggy bank for 66 years? Get your answers in. You only got about 5 more seconds to get it in there. Quick, 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 quick. So if you put $1 a day in a piggy bank, you put $1 a day in a piggy bank, and you did that from the day you were born until you turned 66 years of age, you would have $24,000. Okay, so guys, we're having to playing the game of success and money. We do this live. We have people from all over the world that can join us and play in this, and then we give out prizes for the top scorers. So that's the first question. So if you took $1 a day from when you were born and you put it in a piggy bank, which means you get zero interest on it, or you take that money and put it under your mattress, or you put it in the bank and the bank's not paying you anything in your savings or checking account, and you did that every day for the same amount of time, you would have $24,000, which is kind of a big number. Now, here comes the next question. Now, if you took that same dollar a day, and this time we do something just a little bit more aggressive, what we do is we take that and we take it down to the bank, and this time we put it into a certificate of deposit or a bond where we're loaning. Remember, you're either going to loan or own things. So we're going to loan money. When you put money in your savings account, your checking account, you're loaning money to the bank. They're taking that money and they're loaning it out to somebody else. Sometimes they'll loan it back to you on your credit card. So if we did the same dollar a day, but this time we're getting a 3% rate of return. So for every $100 you put in there, they give you $3 back at the end of the year, and then that compounds. So let's go with our next question. All right, let's see who got this one right though. So here we go with the top scorers. So far, it looks like Mark D, Diana, and Batman are neck and neck for the top 5 top scores. All right, let's go to the next question. Here is the next question. How much would you have if you put $1 a day, but you're earning a 3% rate of return? 3% rate of return. Get your answers in. You've only got 15 seconds. Pick one. You got a 50-50 shot of getting it right. Okay, we got 32 people that have answered so far. Let's go. Let's see what we got. And the correct answer is $75,000. So if you took that same dollar a day and now we get a 3% rate of return. So that's why it's so important. Step number 1 is to automatically invest. When you have money sitting in step number 5, which is to save and spend in your checking account, you're loaning money to the bank. We got to get that over into your investment account, or we need to start making some money with it. So congratulations. So by just getting a 3% rate of return, we've gone from $24,000 to $75,000. All right, let's see how we're doing on our score. It looks like Mark is still in the lead, and Diana's a close behind, and there's our top people so far. Okay, now the next one is we're going to get a 10% rate of return. We're going to put it in long-term stock. So if you got a 10% rate of return on a long-term stock or other ways, how much are you going to have? Answers are coming in fast and furious. You got 8 seconds. The correct answer is $2.6 million. Now, you're not supposed to know these answers. We're just doing this for fun. But most of us like, wow, really? So if you took that same dollar a day and now we get a 10% rate of return, which is long-term stock, Berkshire Hathaway, the S&P 500 over a long period of time have averaged that. So those are the two reasons we like those two, is because you're going to get a much higher rate of return. Some years it goes up, some years it goes down. We don't really care. We just know that in the long term it's averaged, and that's what it's done over the last 40, 50 years. So we think it's going to be close to that. Again, we're not telling you what to do with your money. We're just telling you what to do with the money we give you. So congratulations, that 10% turns into $2.6 million. Dollar a day under your mattress. In the bank at 0%, it's $24,000. 3% in a bond gets you $75,000. But if you get a 10% rate of return on it, now you're going to get about $2.6 million over that time frame. Now, the next question is, how much would you owe? How much would you owe if you charged $1 a day on your credit card? So you get your credit card, we're going to charge $1 a day on it. And when we do that, we're not going to make any payments on it, and it's just going to compound. So I'm going to show you the difference between a 10% rate of return and a 21% cost. Now, the crazy thing about this is that if you have money in the bank, your bank account, in your savings account, and you also have a credit card, well, most likely the bank took your money out of your savings account and loaned it back to you on your credit card. They're not giving you anything and they're charging you 21%. So let's see what that does. So at a 21% cost, here's what it's going to cost. Oh, looks like that we have a new top score right here. And so congratulations to all of you. It looks like we've got a new score that's moved up very quickly. Okay, so you got to get these babies right. Here we go with our next question. 21% rate on a cost. How much would you owe? Okay, you got 40 answers in there. That's awesome. The correct answer is, oh, most of you got it right. Congratulations. $1.6 billion. You'd owe $1.6 billion. A dollar a day under your mattress or in your checking account, savings account with 0% rate of return is 24,000. But if you took that money in the bank, that's what they do. They're taking your money and they're loaning it back to you on your credit card. And then they're charging you 21%. So the same time frame, but it's 21% interest, you'd owe $1 billion, $1,611,000,000. That's the power of interest. So when we talk about different things, the one thing that, we really want you to understand is interest. We want you to understand percentages. That's probably more important than anything is understanding the percentages. So imagine that you would owe $1.6 billion. Okay. All right. So let's see our scoring. And it looks like the top leaders are still the same. Dren moved up 8 places. So congratulations. Schwaz is second right there. And Dilsky, whatever, that's your name. Congratulations. And here we go. Here's our next question. All right. You got $10,000 in debt. How much are you going to pay in interest by the time you get that paid off? $10,000 in credit card debt at 21%. How much are you going to pay in interest? How much are you going to pay in interest? And again, you're just paying the minimum payment on it. The correct answer is $22,000. And again, you're not supposed to know this. We're just doing it for fun. That's why you got a 50-50 shot at it. But you're learning. So if you have $10,000 in credit card debt and you make the minimum payment, which is what they want you to do, they want you to pay them interest. That's how these guys make their money. And banks are not your friends. They're there to make money. They're there to make money for their shareholders. But if you did that and you made the minimum payment, it's going to take you about 15 years to pay that back if you don't add any more to it. And you're going to pay $22,000 in interest. $10,000 for the cost, $10,000 in your debt, and then another $22,000, almost $23,000 in interest. So the grand total is $32,000. Now, if you do one thing, if you simply increase your payment from $183 to $395, so instead of making the minimum payment, we make a little bit higher payment. We're going to pay that off faster. We're going to pay it quicker, and we're going to pay a lot less in interest. So let's see how much money we're going to save. So there's the next question. You're going to pay $23,000 in interest. If we simply increase the payment, basically double the payment on it, we're going to save a lot of money in interest. How much are we going to save? Here's the question that's coming up. And looks like, we still have our top winners still in the same. Nice job. Okay, good. Here's our next question. We're going to kick the payment up to $395. We're going to save a lot of money in interest. How much money do we save in interest? The correct answer is $19,000. So you're going to pay $23,000 in interest if you make the minimum payment. But if you simply basically double that payment from the minimum payment to $395, you're going to save $19,000. You're still going to pay about $4,000 in interest, $3,000 in interest, which is terrible. We want that money working for you, not against you. Quit making everybody else rich. That's what you're doing. We don't want to do that. So congratulations, you got half of you got it right. And again, this is just for fun. That's why we're doing this. And when we played the game last night, we had about 60 participants in it, and the 11-year-olds won. They're a little team of 3 little girls that were 11 years old, and they won. They outperformed the adults. So doesn't matter your age. You can learn this at any age. All right. Let's see our top score. Oh, looks like we got a small change. Ernest and Renee have moved up to be in the top scoring position. Okay, so now let's go to our next set of questions of what we've got here. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the stock market and how that all works. So let's go to our next question. And here comes the question. That's what is the Dow? You've heard of the word Dow, the Dow Industrial Averages. What is it? The correct answer is 30 companies. There's 30 companies from 30 different industries. Now, why they choose to look at 30 companies is a bad indicator because one company does really well, one company goes down, and it's a roller coaster. One of the reasons they do that is because they want you to watch. They want you to watch TV. They want you to listen to the radio. It's a terrible benchmark that they look at. We don't really care about the Dow because there's only 30 companies and it's not a really good indicator. So there's a car company, there is a computer company, a software company, a grocery store, whatever it is that make up the Dow. What we want to do is look at the S&P. The S&P is called the Standard & Poor's, and it was created many years ago, and they started watching a group of companies. So we're going to throw out the next question and see if you can get this right. And so here's the next question. What is the S&P? So it looks like Renee has overtaken Ernst, Jael, John, and Tracy are your top 5. So the next question is, what is the S&P? Standard & Poor's. Answers are coming in fast and furious. Congratulations. That's awesome. The correct answer is the 500 largest companies. So the 500 largest companies in America makes up the Standard & Poor's stock index. Now, what that is that, oh gosh, maybe 100 years ago, an organization started keeping track of these 500 of the largest companies that are out there. And they end up putting that into what they call an index. So when you invest and you invest in the S&P 500, now there's all kinds of indexes. There's indexes for in the Philippines, so they want you to invest in the Philippine stocks or whatever it is. We like the American stocks because they're all over the world. And that's why we use GoTrade, because you can invest in the S&P 500 and Berkshire Hathaway and others. And remember, there's 4 ways that you can invest in the stock market on the market. Number 1 is you can pick and choose, but if you pick and choose, you're probably going to lose. Most likely you will lose. The vast majority of people shouldn't be picking and choosing. You should be spending your time in step 1, make more money with your small business and your job. And then we get that down into number 4, the automatically invest, and that's on autopilot. We don't have to really worry about it. They're doing it for us. And so the top 500 companies are worldwide. And the goal is to find companies that are making money. Now you can buy mutual funds. Number 2 is a mutual fund where you're paying someone to manage that for you, but the fees are higher. Number 3 is the S&P 500, the 500 largest companies. The fees are very low because they're not making any financial decisions. They're not picking and choosing companies. The managers are. They just say, here's the 500 biggest companies. We're just going to invest in those. And then, of course, the last one is Berkshire Hathaway. And the reason we give away Berkshire Hathaway stock, because we're going to ask, that's going to be your next question. We're going to find out that one. So that's what the S&P is. Congratulations. And again, you are doing well on here. So let's see how we're doing on our points. Ernest, is so close with Renee and Tracy. Batman, Mr. Uaz is or Wise are coming up there. Batman is back in the game, got 3 in a row, so congratulations. So let's go to our next question. True or false, the S&P 500 stock index makes more money than professionally managed funds. Does it make more money than most professionally managed funds? That is correct. Congratulations, you're getting that. So over time, the S&P has done better than most professionally managed funds because of the fees. The fees are so much lower. There's really very small fees in the S&P 500. So that is great. Now, our last question here is about Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett. Now, and again, we're not telling you what to do with your money. We're just telling you what we want you to do with the money we give you. Berkshire Hathaway is a conglomerate. It's a stock. It's a stock. So it's just like buying Apple or McDonald's or Nike or anything else. It's a stock. So there's really no money under management. There's no yearly fees attached to it. There's a small yearly fee on the S&P 500. There's a little bit bigger fee on mutual funds. And so that's if they all have the same rate of return because you're paying a lot less in fees, then that's why it does much better. Okay. So Berkshire Hathaway is a stock and it's a massive insurance company, big insurance companies. And as they bring in premiums for car insurance and other kinds of insurance, then they take that money and they go invest it. So there's billions and billions and billions of dollars in premiums that come in for car insurance and other insurances, and they take that money and they go invest it. So they have no cost. They have no cost for the money. They're not paying anything for that money. And then it makes them more money. And when things are kind of bleak in the world, that's where they go find bargains. Berkshire, Buffett, and his whole team love chaos. They love crashes. Because that's when they're finding really good companies. They want to invest in really good companies at a fair price. Now, when he says fair price, he wants a great deal. So let's go to number 10 and let's see how we're doing in our scoring. Oh, Batman has popped up. I think Batman has got about 3 or 4 in a row. This is neck and neck. So this is going to be the decider right here, this last question that we're going to go to. So this one is about Berkshire Hathaway. Does it make more money than the S&P 500 over time? Now, not every year, but over time, does it do better? Get those answers in quickly. Oh, nice job. Nice job. It looks like the vast majority have got that answer right. Yes. Over time, a long period of time, um, Berkshire has outperformed the S&P because there's really no fees to it. There's a very small commission when you buy it, and then there's no fees after that. So that's one of the reasons. And there's a huge team. When we say Buffett, he's just the guy that really started it, but he's got a massive team. And just like when Walt Disney passed away or retired, or when Warren retires or whatever, that there's a whole team that's already been in place for many years. It's going to do really well. After Steve Jobs passed away, Tim Cook took it to the next level. When Warren passes away or retires, which he probably won't, he's going to be 94 in August. My dad is 4 days older than Warren Buffett. And I had a mini Warren Buffett that taught me as a kid. So let's see our top scores here. Drum roll. And here's our top podium here. Number 3, Tracy. Congratulations, Tracy. Number 2, Mr. YUZ. And number 1 is Batman. Batman came from behind to catch up. With the runners up of Renee is number 4 and Schwab was number 5. Okay, so you 5 people, here's what I need to have you do. I'm going to have you send me a quick email because we're going to send you some Buffett bucks. So hang on, we're going to come right back. And I just want to talk to you just for a second about this, about what we did. So let's do a quick summary and find out what what happened on this. 90, let's see, the vast majority, how many? 921. So this is the answers here. Okay, good. Okay, good. So that's kind of fun. All right. So basically what we've got here is this is a fun little program we've got. If you scored in the top 5, I want you to send me a quick email to successmoneyfoundation.org. Sorry, successmoneyfoundation at gmail.com, successmoneyfoundation@gmail.com. Tell us your name and your nickname and tell us what your real name is and your Success and Money Foundation ID number. And then we're going to give you some Buffett bucks for playing. Okay. So this is kind of a fun game that we have access to. And like I said, as we're teaching more and more classes here in America, I taught a class last night. We will start live streaming those and we will play the game. And you can play the game against people all over the world as we do this. We can put 2,000 people on this line at a time and we'll start doing more of those things. So that's this play the game of money. And again, you can start earning more money by simply going to the website and going through classes. So everybody, thanks for watching. We're going to be right back. We got another couple sections we want to talk about. So thanks for watching. We'll be right back. Congratulations.